Today we're looking at a 1968 Shelby Cobra GT500KR Convertible that's in our shop for today's What Are You In For video. This is a pretty special car. This 68 GT500 has one of the longest names of any Shelby car, being the Shelby Cobra GT500KR. And of course, the KR stands for King of the Road. What makes it the King of the Road? Well, this right here, the Cobra Jet 428 V8. This car is wearing a beautiful shade of medium blue, which is also the same paint code as Ford Acapulco blue. And it's a convertible with a factory 4-speed. So that makes it a pretty rare car. They made 4,400 and change 68 Shelbys. They only made 318 GT500 convertibles. And out of those, the blue 4-speed convertible, you're down to, I don't know, less than 50. So this car is definitely one that has to be restored to correctness. The bodies are actually quite different on these Shelby cars, starting with the taillights, which I believe are 65 Thunderbird on this car. It also has kind of a molded in ducktail spoiler in the back. And as we move to the front of the car, you can see it has what many people call a roll bar. It's more of a styling bar and a chassis stiffener. These were pretty quickly welded in by the Shelby guys, as you can tell by the original quality of those MIG welds down there. Back on the outside of the car, there is a side scoop in fiberglass, and these cars did a lot with fiberglass with the front sheet metal and things like this side scoop. And of course, you've got the signature Shelby striping coming up the side with that GT500KR call out, the 428 Cobra Jet badge, and this particular car is wearing the 10-spoke Shelby wheels. Although these BFG radial TAs are not really correct, it should have a set of block letter Goodyear tires, but overall, it's a very correct car. Behind that special fiberglass Shelby nose is the engine bay where the 428 Cobra Jet engine normally lives. And that's one of the reasons why this car came to our shop in the first place, is it's a numbers matching engine transmission car, but the engine didn't run quite as well as it should. The Cobra Jet makes 335 advertised horsepower. They say closer to 400 at full song, but this one had a little bit of knock and it wasn't making quite enough power. So it came here to have that engine looked at. We removed it, disassembled it, and sent it off to Fast Times Motor Works in Chicago for a complete rebuild, but keeping all the stock componentry in place. Once the engine came out, it was time to detail the engine compartment. And this car has been restored once before, but the details under the hood left a little bit to be desired. And again, on a car like this, you got to get those details right. So as we started kind of stripping away some of the paint, we found that there was some corrosion in the battery box, so we made a new panel here. This is pretty common on these cars, but all this sheet metal is new that we welded in. And as we were cleaning the firewall and getting ready to repaint that, we noticed that there's a little bit of a hole in the floor when you kind of get down there. So the owner said, you know what, we need to do this car right. So as it sits today, it is going to get disassembled a little bit further so that all of the bottom side and the insides can be properly restored, and then it'll be put back together, possibly to be repainted on the outside at a much later date. Our crew has removed most of the interior at this point. You can still see the Shelby 4-speed handle coming through the tunnel there. And an interesting detail on this car is the seatbelt warning stickers are still present on the sun visors. And these tended to wear away a long time ago, so that's kind of a neat detail. But what you also see is a little bit of rust discoloration in the floor. So that is going to get repaired. I think there was kind of a shoddy patch in the driver's footwell, so that's going to get repaired also, and then properly painted and color detailed and reassembled. So we don't just do modified and custom cars here at the V8 Speed and Resto shop. We're also very capable of restoring original, significant cars like this Shelby. Our team is well versed in doing the research and doing what it takes to make sure that cars like this are restored correctly. If you have an all-original muscle car or something you want some custom work done to, you can reach us at v8speedshop.com, and that is what this one is in for.